Welcome to Astro Rahu channel English. I'm your host Vishal Sathe. Today we are going to discuss for the Sagittarius ascendant what happens when Venus is in the 5th house in Aries. Now if you want to watch this episode in Hindi, go to Astro Rahu channel Hindi. And if you want to know about the benefits and identification of Ayurvedic herbs, go to Health channel. Now if Venus is in Aries in the 5th house for the Sagittarius ascendant, usually you'll see that the individual is very creative. This is very logical because 5th house represents creativity and Venus itself is the significator of creativity. So such people are very creative and they might be interested in music, they might be interested in acting or composing songs or writing songs. There are n number of possibilities. Different type of creativity is possible with this placement. Further, I have seen that such individuals are very romantic. They are desperately romantic, I would say, because here the sign involved is Aries, and Aries is a Martian sign, and it is very ready to go and get whatever it wants. So Venus in Aries is like desperately romantic, very romantic. And once they fall in love, the affairs are very intense. And these guys are very sexual as well. This is very logical. And further, with Venus in Aries in 5th house, these people are very youthful as well. Because Aries again is a Martian sign, and Venus in Aries makes these people dress well, and usually their physique is very nice, and the way especially they carry themselves is very youthful. So with this placement, if say a guy is 50 years old, probably he might you might feel as if he is 30 or 35. So the body language is always very youthful with this placement. As Venus here is placed in the 5th house, and Venus is passion, and from the 5th house you see children. So usually these people also are very fond of children. It's not necessarily that they own children, or wherever they see children, they are naturally attracted towards children, and they are very fond of children. This you can see with this placement. And there is one very particular typical thing about this placement, because Venus here rules the 6th house and Venus here is placed in the 5th house. From the 6th house, the lower service staff is seen. So you can see even house interns, that is, you can see maids and servants from the 6th house. And because Venus represents romance, and because the 6th lord is placed in the 5th house, so if there are certain other alignments, then you can also see in certain places romance with maids, romance with servants as well. This can also be seen from this placement. And because Venus here is in Aries, and Aries is a very tamasic and selfish sign. So and because especially for males, because Venus represents love, romance, it represents the other partner. So initially such people, especially if a male has this placement, usually in the first half of his life, initially he attracts romantic partners who are selfish. This also I have seen from this placement. Especially I've seen this if the placement is in Bharini Nakshatra. But many a times Venus, when placed in Bharini third pada, it is kind of a blessing in disguise, because initially such people attract very selfish romantic partners, but in the later half of their life they come across partners who are very, very nice, because in Navamsa such Venus then is placed in the Libra sign. You also have to look at the Mahadasha. If the Mahadasha comes in the youth, then, and if Venus is karmically placed, then definitely you can see that some of the negative stuff which I am talking about, there are chances that it's definitely going to happen. And there is one more typical thing in this placement which I have observed, is that because Venus here, as I told you, is the ruler of the 6th house and it is placed in the 5th house. So from the 6th house in astrology we see obstacles, and this can also represent in certain cases that one might face obstacles through women or through creativity. For example, this might happen such a case that someone's education is hampered due to some romance, or some failed romance, depression due to breakup in romance. All such types of things can happen, or probably the career might, or education might get hampered because one wants to do something, one wants to do something related to creativity. He wants to pursue a career of creativity but is unable to do so. So many times there are obstacles created due to creativity which hamper either the education or which bring obstacles in one's life. So these were majorly some of my analysis regarding placement of Aries, placement of Venus in Aries in the 5th house for the Sagittarius ascendant. If you like this episode, don't forget to press the like button. This is Vishal Sathe signing off for now. Bye.